When I moved to Coventry to do a PhD in 2010, and when I moved to Coventry, I noticed there were a number of empty spaces that the council owned. The council in Coventry was at the time, I think still is, quite uniquely positioned as a kind of post-industrial city, whereby a lot of the commercial buildings were in public ownership. So the council owned them. They hadn't all been sold off during Thatcher's kind of 80s changes and regeneration policies for investment and privatisation and stuff. So a lot of it was still owned, which meant that you could actually negotiate with them about its use. They were quite interested in talking to me because I was running a gallery in Brighton, and that sounded like the kind of thing they thought they should be doing there, not realising quite how illegitimate it was as a space. So it did initially kind of talk to me with a lot of enthusiasm of like a kind of an investor coming from the southeast. That wasn't my plan at all, and then they started to realise that. And so they, in their kind of portfolio of empty properties, there were some that were referred to as void. They were void for commercial use because it was highly limited what you could actually do with them. I was as interested in showing other people's work as I was my own. So I just wanted to create an environment where things could happen, and had a very romantic idea about how exciting that could be as kind of live culture. I didn't know you were supposed to kind of formulate that as a company limited by guarantee. I didn't know you were supposed to have a board or all that kind of stuff. So I bungled through those things, but tried to keep them on terms that were useful to us. But I wanted to approach it like an artist-run space from the off, really, that it was an artist-run activity trying to get the lease. It was an artist-run activity trying to clear the space. I wanted to think of it all as a kind of practice, even a kind of confusing one, but nevertheless an idea that it was a practice. So when I was renovating the space and like knocking down walls and taking down a shitty suspended ceiling, I thought, well, that could all be part of a making. So I organised an artist in renovation project. So there was a kind of residency project that ran through the renovation. So we've been going for 13 and a half years, which is no flash in the pan, really. That's and probably the reason why we've lasted so long is we moved to a sustainable model where you just have studios that pay for it, and I don't have to get involved with funding bids constantly. I thought that was the way to go initially. I had 50% project space, 50% studios, literally a corridor that went into the middle between them. And for 2 to 3 years, got project funding through Arts Council, but realised that was no good. Studios were definitely the way to go, and which is why we've lasted as long. And if it wasn't for the council's plans to regenerate the area and develop it, we would still continue.